The entire restaurant went silent when the rich lady began tearing into the black waitress. "Do you even know how to serve water properly?" she shouted. "Look at your hands. Do they even belong in a place like this?" "You people always mess things up," she sneered, making everyone stare at the trembling waitress. And before anyone could react, she slapped the tray out of the waitress's hands, sending the dishes crashing to the floor. But what happened next shocked the entire restaurant. Because the woman being humiliated wasn't just any waitress. She was the very reason this restaurant existed. And when the owner saw her face, he didn't just defend her. He sprinted toward her and broke down crying in front of everyone. The Golden Spoon wasn't just any restaurant. It was the restaurant, the kind wealthy families bragged about on social media, the place where you needed reservations months in advance, the kind of establishment where the chandeliers alone cost more than most people earned in a year. It was a quiet Tuesday afternoon, sunlight pouring through the massive glass windows and reflecting off polished marble floors. Soft jazz played in the background. Waiters moved gracefully like they were dancing, and expensive perfume from rich customers floated in the air. Then she walked in, Vanessa Kingsley, dressed in a designer white coat, heels that echoed power, and sunglasses worth more than someone's entire semester fee. She didn't walk, she glided, chin lifted, eyes scanning the room as if she owned it. And the moment she stepped in, the staff stiffened. Everyone knew her. Everyone feared her. Vanessa had one specialty. She didn't eat food. She ate people alive. And today, her target would be the newest waitress, Maya. Maya stood near table 6, holding a tray with water, trying her best to control her trembling hands. She was in her mid-20s, with soft features, warm brown skin, and eyes that carried a quiet sadness, as if she had lived many lifetimes of pain already. She wore her simple uniform neatly, but there was something humble, almost fragile about her presence. It was Maya's first day, and Vanessa could smell that weakness from across the room. The moment she saw Maya approaching with the tray, Vanessa narrowed her eyes. "You," she snapped loudly, pointing at Maya like she was pointing at dirt. "Bring me water, but don't spill it like the last one did." The entire restaurant looked up. Maya nodded quickly. "Yes, ma'am. I'll be careful." Vanessa smirked. "Careful. People like you don't even know the meaning of that word." The words sliced through Maya like knives. Customers shifted uncomfortably, whispering. But Vanessa didn't stop. As Maya placed the glass gently on the table, Vanessa leaned back and clicked her tongue. "Do you even know how to serve water properly? Your hands, ugh, do they even belong in a place like this?" Maya froze, her cheeks burning with embarrassment. Her hands shook harder, and she immediately clasped them behind her apron to hide it. A couple at the next table looked away, ashamed on her behalf. But Vanessa thrived on humiliation. It was her entertainment. "Oh my God," she said louder, making sure half the restaurant could hear. "Why do they keep hiring people like you? Every time I come here, you people mess something up." The last words hung in the air like poison. Maya swallowed, trying to remain polite despite her voice cracking. "I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm still learning the—" Vanessa cut her off by waving a disgusted hand in her face. "Don't talk, just listen. And for heaven's sake, stop shaking. It's embarrassing." Maya blinked fast, fighting tears. She couldn't cry. Not here, not on her first day. But her silence only fueled Vanessa's cruelty. "Look at you," Vanessa scoffed, leaning in with a sarcastic smile. "You look like you've never worked in a real restaurant. Did they pick you up from the street?" A collective gasp went through the room. Maya stepped back slightly, gripping the tray harder. Her throat tightened, but she forced the words out softly. "No, ma'am, I just needed a job." "That's obvious," Vanessa interrupted again. "People like you always come with sob stories. I don't need to hear yours."
Maya's breath hitched. Her eyes flickered with something deeper, something painful, something Vanessa did not understand, but would soon regret. The tension in the room became unbearable. Even the jazz music felt like it wanted to stop. A young busboy, Jamal, watched helplessly from the corner. He whispered to a fellow waiter, "Why is she doing this to Maya? She just got here." The waiter shook his head. Vanessa always finds someone to destroy. Maya slowly turned to leave, desperate to escape the humiliation. But Vanessa wasn't finished. She reached out, grabbed the edge of the tray Maya held, and with a sudden sharp flick, crash! The entire tray went flying. Glasses shattered across the floor. Cold water splashed everywhere. A plate spinning on the marble made a piercing metallic ring before it settled. The restaurant gasped as one. Maya's hands flew to her mouth. Her eyes widened. Her heart dropped. Vanessa leaned back, proud of the chaos she had caused. "See," she said loudly, shrugging dramatically, "exactly what I meant. This is why I hate dealing with—" She didn't finish the sentence, because in that moment the doors to the kitchen swung open, and someone came running. Heavy footsteps, breathing fast, voice urgent. It was Samuel Carter, the owner of the Golden Spoon, respected, powerful, someone everyone admired. But the look on his face wasn't anger at the noise. It was shock, recognition, emotion, pain. His eyes landed on Maya and he froze. His lips parted. His expression softened into something heartbreaking. And then he ran to her. Not walked, not jogged, ran. Straight to the waitress everyone thought was nobody. Vanessa's jaw dropped. Customers stared in disbelief. And Maya stepped back in confusion, whispering, "Mr. Carter?" What happened next would shake every soul in that restaurant.
For a few seconds after the tray crashed, the entire restaurant stayed frozen. Not a single spoon clinked. Not a single chair moved. Even the air felt terrified to breathe. Maya knelt down immediately, her hands trembling as she tried to pick up the broken pieces. She kept her head lowered so no one would see the tears building in her eyes. Her voice was barely a whisper as she apologized again and again. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'll clean it up." But Vanessa just tilted her chin in cold amusement. "Pathetic," she scoffed loudly so everyone could hear. "Look at her, crying over a few broken glasses. You act like a child. Do you even know what responsibility means?" A couple at the next table frowned at Vanessa's cruelty, but they didn't dare interfere. The Golden Spoon wasn't the kind of place where customers argued. They watched. And today, they were watching Maya crumble. A waiter rushed forward to help her, but Vanessa pointed a sharp, threatening finger at him. "Don't you dare touch that mess," she snapped. "Let her clean it. She made the mess. She should know her place." The waiter froze, hesitated, looked at Maya, and then stepped back reluctantly. Maya's chest tightened with humiliation. Her knees were aching from crouching on the cold marble floor. Her fingers trembled as she picked up small glass shards, cutting herself twice, but she didn't stop. Vanessa smirked at the sight of Maya bleeding. "Oh, sweetheart, maybe next time they should assign you to something easier, like sweeping the sidewalk. At least you can't break that." A soft laugh came from one of the rich ladies sitting behind Vanessa, not because it was funny, but because Vanessa wanted her to laugh. Maya's breath hitched. Her vision blurred. Her heart felt painfully heavy. This job was supposed to be her new beginning, a small chance at building her life again, a chance to prove she wasn't worthless. But Vanessa was treating her like she was. As Maya tried to gather the last pieces, she stood up shakily and reached for the remaining glass that had rolled closer to Vanessa's side of the table. But before Maya could pick it up, Vanessa deliberately nudged it farther away with her heel, smirking.
Oh? Did it run away from you? Just like everything else in your life? That made Maya stop breathing for a second. Her eyes lifted slowly, and their gazes met. Vanessa's eyes held no empathy, no humanity, just pure superiority. But then, a soft whisper came from behind Maya. "Isn't that the founder's daughter?" Maya froze. Her eyes widened. Her heart skipped. The whisper came from an elderly couple who often visited the restaurant. They squinted, tilting their heads as if studying Maya's face. "No way," the man muttered. "She left years ago. Disappeared. Why would she be here?" The wife shook her head. "But she looks just like—" They stopped talking when Vanessa shot them a suspicious glare. Maya quickly lowered her head again, pretending not to hear. Her fingers squeezed the glass shard tighter until another small cut appeared. The staff exchanged confused glances. Founder's daughter? Impossible! Maya was too quiet, too humble, too broken to be someone important. Vanessa rolled her eyes. "Oh, please," she scoffed. "This one? Someone's daughter? Don't make me laugh. The only thing she's a daughter of is failure." Maya flinched. The word stabbed deeper than Vanessa realized. Across the room, Jamal, the busboy, clenched his fists. "That's enough," he whispered to himself, stepping forward to help Maya. But before he could touch Maya's arm, Vanessa barked, "Don't you dare help her!" Jamal froze mid-step, his eyes filled with frustration. But he stepped back, powerless. Maya slowly stood, completely defeated, her shoulders collapsing like she was carrying years of weight. She held the tray against her chest as if trying to protect herself from more insults. But Vanessa wasn't finished. She raised her voice again, making sure everyone heard. "You know what? I'm done with this place. First you serve me someone who can't speak properly, then someone who can't serve water, and now someone who can't even stand without crying? Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic." Her voice echoed through the restaurant. Customers stared, some recording, some shaking their heads. Just then, bang! The kitchen doors burst open. Samuel Carter, the owner, the man who built the golden spoon from nothing, stormed out with urgency in his steps. "What is going on here?" he demanded. But the moment his eyes landed on Maya, his breath caught. His expression changed. Shock, recognition, then something deeper, something emotional. He whispered her name like a lost memory resurfacing. "Maya." Maya stiffened. Vanessa turned, confused. And then Samuel did something that made the entire restaurant gasp. He ran straight to Maya as if she were the most important person in the world. Samuel Carter had dealt with broken plates, angry customers, burnt orders, delayed suppliers, everything a restaurant owner could imagine. But nothing prepared him for what he saw the moment he stepped into the dining area. He froze mid-stride. The angry words he had rehearsed for whoever caused the noise evaporated instantly. His eyes widened. The world around him blurred into silence. There, standing with her head bowed, holding a dented tray against her chest like a shield, was Maya. His breath hitched. No, it couldn't be. 7 years. 7 long years. Yet the face before him, tired, tear-stained, humiliated, was undeniably hers. "Maya?" he whispered, the name trembling out of his mouth. Maya lifted her head slowly as if looking at him might break her even more. Her eyes, still wet with tears, widened in shock. "Mr. Carter," she whispered softly. The restaurant fell into a deeper silence. Even Vanessa stopped moving. Samuel didn't walk. He didn't hesitate. He ran, his shoes sliding slightly on the polished floor as he nearly collided into Maya, pulling her into his arms with a force that startled everyone. A loud gasp rippled across the restaurant. The waiters froze. Customers exchanged confused looks. Vanessa's jaw dropped so wide it looked as if she had forgotten how to close it. Maya, trembling, didn't know what to do. Her hands hovered awkwardly in the air, unsure whether she deserved the embrace or not. Samuel held her tighter. How are you here? Where have you been? Why didn't you ever come back?" Maya swallowed hard, unable to speak through the sudden lump in her throat. Samuel stepped back slightly, cupping her shoulders, studying her face with disbelief. His eyes glistened with emotion. "You disappeared, and I thought something terrible had happened to you." Behind them, Vanessa scoffed loudly, trying, desperately, to regain control of the moment. "Excuse me?" she snapped. "What is happening here? Why are you hugging the waitress? She just ruined my lunch." Samuel didn't even turn to look at her. Instead, he faced Maya again, scanning the small cuts on her fingers, the redness in her eyes, the trembling in her shoulders. A deep anger began rising inside him, not at her, but at whoever dared treat her this way. "Maya," he said gently, "who did this to you?" Maya's lips parted, but she shook her head slightly. She wasn't the kind of person who pointed fingers, not even at someone who humiliated her. But she didn't need to. Vanessa stepped forward arrogantly. "I did," she declared proudly, folding her arms, "because she deserved it. She was incompetent, slow, and she spilled water all over the place. Honestly, you should fire her." Samuel turned toward Vanessa, slowly, very slowly. The room felt colder. The lights felt dimmer. Every person in the restaurant held their breath. "You," he said, his voice low and dangerous, "you humiliated her?" Vanessa scoffed again, rolling her eyes. "Oh, please, don't tell me she's your niece or something. She's just a waitress." "Just a waitress?" Samuel repeated, his lips tightening. "You have no idea who she is." Vanessa blinked, suddenly unsure. "What are you talking about?" Samuel looked around the restaurant, at every customer, every staff member, every pair of eyes watching. Then he said something that made glasses tremble, forks pause, and hearts stop beating for a second. "She is not just a waitress. She is the reason this restaurant even exists." A wave of shocked murmurs rose. Vanessa's expression faltered. Confusion replaced her confidence. What do you mean?" "She's nobody." Samuel shook his head. "No, she's somebody. She is everything." He placed a protective arm around Maya. "Let me tell you who Maya really is." Everyone leaned forward. Vanessa swallowed nervously. "And Maya?" Maya closed her eyes, bracing herself for memories she had buried deep inside her heart. What Samuel revealed next would turn the entire restaurant upside down.
Samuel took a slow breath, his hands still resting protectively on Maya's shoulder. The restaurant had never been this silent, not even during blackouts. Every single person, every waiter, every customer, even the kitchen staff peeking from the doorway, leaned in to hear what Samuel was about to say. Vanessa stood stiffly, her confidence cracking like thin glass. Samuel looked at her with an intensity she wasn't used to being on the receiving end of. "You asked who she is," he said softly, almost dangerously. "Let me tell you." He turned slightly toward Maya, his voice gentler now, almost trembling. "This woman, this gentle, kind-hearted woman, is the reason the golden spoon exists today." Gasps echoed. Even Maya's eyes widened, because she had never wanted her story revealed, especially not like this. Samuel continued, pain flickering in his expression as old memories resurfaced. "7 years ago," he began, "I had nothing. No money, no connections, no confidence. I was a failed chef washing dishes in a small cafe. And do you know who believed in me when nobody else did?" He pointed at Maya with a shaking hand. Her. The room shifted in energy, curiosity, guilt, shock, and sympathy mixing like waves. Vanessa swallowed hard, suddenly nervous for reasons she couldn't explain. Samuel continued. "At that time, Maya was working 3 jobs, not because she wanted luxury, but because she had a sick mother at home, medical bills piling up, and nobody to help her." His voice lowered, filled with admiration. "But she still found time to come to me after my shifts, bring me food, encourage me, and tell me I deserved better." Maya blinked fast as tears gathered in her eyes. "She told me," Samuel said, "if you open your own place one day, I'll be your first employee." The room exhaled, some in surprise, some in awe. Samuel chuckled sadly. "I thought she was just being kind, but she meant it." He paused, his voice breaking. "And do you know how I got the money to start this restaurant?" Everyone leaned closer. "Maya gave me her entire life savings." A collective "what?" spread across the room. Vanessa's mouth fell open. Samuel nodded. "Yes, a young woman with nothing gave me everything she had. She believed in a dream that wasn't even hers." He shook his head in disbelief. "She didn't ask for interest. She didn't ask for partnership. She didn't even want her name on anything. She just said, 'I want you to succeed.'" Maya looked down, tears finally slipping down her cheeks. Samuel's voice hardened sharply as he glared at Vanessa. "And you insulted her, humiliated her, treated her like she was beneath you." He stepped closer to Vanessa. "You have no idea how much strength it took for her to walk through those doors again." The room grew even stiller. Samuel turned to the crowd. "This place, every chandelier, every table, every plate is standing because of her sacrifice. She is not just a waitress. She is the heart of this restaurant." He placed both hands gently on Maya's shoulders. "And I will not allow anyone, especially someone who thinks wealth makes them superior, to disrespect her." Vanessa's face paled. Her lips parted, trying to form an excuse, but no words came out. For the first time in her life, she had nothing to say. Maya wiped her tears, stunned by the revelation she never expected Samuel to share. And before anyone could speak, Samuel said the one sentence that made Vanessa's knees wobble. "You owe this entire restaurant an apology." The news of the incident spread throughout the company faster than expected. Some whispered in hallways, others exchanged worried glances in elevators. But one thing was clear. Everyone felt a deep shift in the CEO's behavior. The once cold, sharp-tongued, distant leader was now moving with a new softness in his steps, as if carrying an invisible weight on his shoulders, but also a new clarity in his eyes. The nurse, Ms. Danielle, had returned home that night without telling her family what happened. She didn't want to create drama. She didn't want sympathy. She simply wanted peace. But when she came into work the next morning, the entire atmosphere had changed. As she walked through the hospital hallway, orderlies smiled at her, doctors nodded respectfully, and even junior staff whispered, "That's her, the nurse who helped the CEO's son." She felt proud, but also unsure. She never wanted fame. She only wanted to do her job. But the real surprise came when she entered the hospital lobby. The CEO was standing there, not in his tailored suit, not surrounded by board members, not holding a tablet or barking orders. Instead, he held a small bouquet of white lilies, the same flowers his son loved. Ms. Danielle froze. People around them slowly stopped talking. Even the receptionist stood speechless. The CEO took a slow step forward and said, loud enough for the room to hear, "Ms. Danielle, I owe you an apology, one that is overdue and one I can never fully repay." Her eyes widened. She didn't expect this. She never imagined a man of such status would humble himself so openly. He continued, "Yesterday, you showed me what true professionalism, kindness, and humanity look like. While I was blinded by stress and ego, you were saving my son's life. You taught me a lesson I'll remember for the rest of my life." The room was silent. You didn't defend yourself. You didn't argue. You didn't disrespect me. Instead, you let your actions speak, and they spoke louder than anything I've ever heard. A tear rolled down her cheek, not because she wanted validation, but because for the first time, someone recognized her worth. The CEO stepped closer and handed her the flowers. "Thank you for saving my son, and thank you for saving me from myself." The staff began to clap softly. The nurse wiped her tears and smiled gently. "Your son is a wonderful boy. I was only doing my duty." But the CEO shook his head. "No, you did far more than your duty. And it's time this hospital and this world starts appreciating people like you." He then turned to the staff and said, "Starting today, Ms. Danielle will be promoted to senior nursing supervisor, and every staff member will be treated with the respect they deserve. No exceptions." Gasps filled the room. Ms. Danielle covered her mouth in shock. She had worked 12 long years for such recognition, but she never expected it like this. The CEO bowed his head slightly. "Thank you for being the hero I didn't know I needed." The moment became a reminder for everyone watching. Titles don't define greatness. Actions do. Money doesn't define humanity. Character does. And kindness always finds its way back. If this story touched your heart, remember, never look down on anyone, not because of their job, not because of their status, not because of their uniform. Respect is free, and it changes lives. Tell me in the comments, what lesson did you learn from this story? Like the video, subscribe for more emotional, inspiring stories, and share this with someone who needs a reminder to be kind today.